How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.
Welcome to Around Town, and we are going to do something really fun and really special today. My good friend Norman Chambliss, welcome. Glad you joined us.
Appreciate you being here.
Norman, as we had DJ Rose celebration of the family in the archives at Braswell Memorial Library recently, and you're going to mention that your father got started with them.
Certainly.
A lot of us who dearly love Rocky Mount, and you have always lived in Rocky Mount, grew up here.
I did.
Started a business here with Jimmy Rabil in 1975.
1975.
We see your name, Chambliss and Rabil, all over town. But we want to celebrate the legacy and talk about the past. And then Chris Doherty, who is VP of project manager, is going to be joining us for the second half. But kind of let us know how you and Jimmy decided to do this, and kind of provide some history for us.
Well, it's fun to think back about those days. Jimmy Rabil was my assistant scoutmaster at Troop 11 when I was growing up. Jimmy finished Duke in 1964. Came back to Rocky Mount. Our scoutmaster at Church of the Good Shepherd, Troop 11, Bill Draper, passed away suddenly. Jimmy took the troop over as the figurehead scoutmaster until he taught my father, my dad, Big Norman, into being the scoutmaster. So Jimmy and my father were my scoutmaster from the time I was 13 till I went off to college. I maintained a very close friendship with Jimmy throughout college because he had had such an impact on me as a young man, as a young college student. And when I got back from Wake Forest in '73, Jimmy and I both were doing different things. I went to work with Bob Gorham at Tarrytown Associates, and Jimmy was in pre-trial investigation work with Thorpe and Anderson Law Firm and Billy Etheridge here in Rocky Mount. I then decided to go into the construction business in 1975.
Why?
Because I had always had an interest in building. My dad was with DJ Rose from 1950, right after he got back from the war, maybe 47 or 8, right in there, until he retired. And so I'd been around construction and building all of my life. I love to do things like that. Mm-hmm. It seemed to be there was an opportunity there for me, frankly, because my dad was developing the property on Fairview Road where the fairgrounds had been for so many years, right there where Oakwood Shopping Center is now. And my dad was developing, and he was selling lots to people to build homes. And I had an obvious way there that I could get started, so I built house number 1 and started in August of '75, just one house on Linden Court over in the Oakwood section, and here we go. I mean, it was just off after that. I mean, I think I was just kind of like any young kid at 25 years old. I just was looking for something to do, and it fit. It fit perfect.
Well, and it a real growing time in Rocky Mount.
It was.
And so much, I mean, and I want you to give us a little bit of a tour of the town, because you have an imprint everywhere in Rocky Mount.
Well, I think that's because of the business I'm in. If you're in the construction business, you get to say I have an imprint because you build things that hopefully last a long time. Mm-hmm. Whereby a medical doctor or an attorney, the things they do, they take care of their things quickly and move on to the next one. So that's part of the fun of being in the construction business, is that I get to ride my grandchildren past buildings now, and I get to say, your granddad built that building back in 1976 or 77 or whatever might be the case, and that's fun. My dad was quite interested in making sure I understood where all the old buildings in Rocky Mount came from, because my dad worked for both Sam Toller and he worked with DJ Rose. He went to work originally with Sam Toller's construction company, then was hired by Mr. Rose away from Sam Toller to go there. So my dad would ride me around and he'd tell me stories about the Masonic Temple or the old city hall or the fire stations or the post office, and he would say, son, old Mr. Rose or old Mr. Toller built these buildings, and here's how they did it, and look at what they look like. And I was really kind of caught up in the fact that, my gosh, you do, when you build something, if you build it right and you build it and the purpose or the end use is something that's going to stand the test of time, you do have kind of a legacy there behind you. Now, I wasn't mature enough to think like that at 25 or 30 years old, but you can best believe now, I clearly understand that now. I cringe when I see some of the buildings I built 40 years ago now coming down and being replaced with new buildings. But that's been the case simply because the use of the building was no longer a market-driven use, and it was better served to build something in its place. But I love construction. I mean, every day you leave a little bit of yourself in what you do. It's why you try to take pride in what you build, so that you're happy to tell somebody you built a building, which we are. We are that way.
And you evolved, now you're a full service. I mean, I was listing, you will, if somebody wants to build something from the very beginning, the design phase, every aspect of it, you have the talent available to help with that. Or if somebody comes in with a drawing, you can take it from there.
We do.
To the end. How did did that just happen because you saw through the years that people needed that or wanted that?
Oh, it had to happen. It had to happen. One of the reasons we're still in business 40 years later, going through 2 to 3 recessions, is that we stayed right out on the cusp or ahead of the times in terms of diversifying our business and using innovation. We were the 3rd construction company in Rocky Mount to purchase a computer. We bought our first computer system in the late 70s. 2 contractors in town were already using a computer. They were like dinosaurs back then, of course, when we saw them. But we invested in computers. We always had communication with radios. We've just been out front of things. We like marketing. And so we realized that in order to be a successful company going forward, we couldn't simply do it exactly like everybody else had always done it. So having access to design teams, we actually do projects where we handle projects for our clients from the time they decide they want the project until they move in. We handle the site acquisition, buying the land. We handle the design, the zoning, the engineering. We do it all, and they go about their business running their dental practice or their medical practice, and we tell them, listen, you stay there and earn your living. We'll build this building for you, and you'll never know the hurdles we'll have to jump. We'll handle that for you. And I've got wonderful people. I've got fabulous staff of people, a lot of whom have been with me for almost the entire time we've been in business. But I've been very fortunate. I grew up in Rocky Mount. I came along in the 50s. I entered Brownsville School in 1957 in the 1st grade. And growing up in Rocky Mount in the 50s and the 60s, Gene, it was like Mayberry. But I think a lot of people that are listening would say, well, yeah, their communities were like Mayberry. We always think, looking back, that our community was Mayberry. But this main street was just wonderful, and the whole atmosphere in the community was that way. It's coming back. I mean, and I'm sorry that I have to say it transitioned a little bit away from it, but hard as that is for me to have to admit, I wasn't part of it. I mean, I've been here, but I feel it out there now in our community that we're in the right direction. But I was blessed by the fact that I had a grandfather and a father who preceded me in my community. So when I tried to go into business with Jimmy Rabil, and Jimmy Rabil's dad was a contractor. So we didn't know these things back then, Gene, but when I walked to a bank or to a building supply or whatever, and Jimmy Rabil standing beside me, they would say, hey, Jimmy, and hey, Norman. But what they really were saying is, hello, Albert Rabil's son, and hello, little Norman. What can we do for you? And so we just had some opportunities and some advantages that are wonderful that we did. But I think we've done a good job of taking those and understanding them and doing something with them. We love what we do.
So around town, you now own a number of leasable spaces or shopping centers and whatnot. When did you evolve into actually acquiring them? And I also want to say, ones like Hunter Hill Shopping Center, when the roads were widened, you made it more aesthetically attractive. You have taken some brown spots in town and put really nice buildings there.
We try.
But you do have a number of commercial developments that you all lease out, right?
It's a natural offspring or direction that a commercial contractor would go into. When you build investment real estate for people, a lot of times you learn how it's done by doing the construction work, but many times you're asked to participate with them as a contractor for a part of the ownership. In the cases of the shopping centers that we are involved in now, in most cases we acquired them soon after they were built, simply because the people that built them enjoyed the process but didn't enjoy owning them. Station Square is a good example. Mr. Lionel Bynum, Harry's daddy, did Station Square. He spent 5 years putting all this together. The day he finished it and it became something he had to manage, he didn't like it. So Harry came to me that almost the first or second year and said, "My dad doesn't like this. Are you interested?" I said, "Sure, we did." And we bought this property in '89 and we've been here ever since. I bought Hunter Hill Shopping Center from Dove and Knight Architects in the mid '80s. They loved building it. I don't think they had fun owning it. So that's kind of how it all worked out. That redevelopment of Hunter Hill Shopping Center might be one of my proudest projects we've done. We had two choices when the DOT decided that they were going to take down our Pizza Inn and in effect almost close our shopping center for 5 years. They did the road going east-west for 2.5 years, then closed the road down on Country Club Road. We could have folded and just said, get rid of the center, let's don't do this any longer. But our attitude was, let's make it better, and it's worked out great, and I'm proud of it. And my tenants, Pizza Inn, Steve Stansel, and Food Line, and I'm getting ready to build a 30,000 square foot office building behind Hunter Hill Shopping Center.
Oh, wonderful.
Breaking ground on it in about a month. There was
Well,
an
it's so
article in the
beautiful,
newspaper
too.
this morning that said North Carolina Department of Revenue come into Rocky Mount. Well, that really is our building, and the Department of Revenue is going to occupy a portion of it.
Okay.
But it's going to be a 3-story, state-of-the-art, Class A, beautiful office building on Country Club Road, and we're excited to get it going because I think the community is going to say, "My gracious, this means we." In addition to the beautiful building Rabil Davis is building downtown for Southern Bank, things are happening. I mean, but things are coming out of the ground and they're going multi-story, and I'm very, very encouraged about where we are and where we're going.
We're going to, on that note, get Chris to join us. Your son Yates is running your Wilmington
is.
office. We're going to talk about what's happening now, the dental practices, the residential homes. And then we want to end with, what do you want to be your legacy?
Okay.
Okay?
I'd love to do that, and I'd love to talk about what we're doing now and where we're headed.
And the young people
yes,
coming into
because that's who's running this company,
the
is
future.
these young boys and girls. So,
Great.
so
Okay, we'll be
Thank you.
right back.
Hi, I'm Richard Koss, Pharmacy Manager at Allman's Drugstore at the Westridge Shopping Center. Here with my wife, daughters, and my business partner, Brad Hilton, and his wife, Katie. We are delighted to be new business owners living in Rocky Mount and are excited about the new services and products we are adding at Allman's Drugstore's 2 locations. With a full-service pharmacy, a large supply of over-the-counter supplements, and a comprehensive line of diabetic supplies, Allman's has you covered. Our pharmacists also specialize in consultations. We want you to pay the lowest prices and get the best service in town, and our staff works hard to help you save money, but we are also big on friendliness and customer care. We will deliver your prescriptions free, have drive-through windows, and guarantee short wait times. And we come out to greet you personally and see how we can answer all of your questions. Because as local business owners, we care about you. As a loyal member of your community for over 70 years, you can count on Allman's Drugs to make the health of you and your family our top priority.
Please call Almond's Drugs today.
443-3138.
I'm Clyde Bailey, inviting you to our store-wide multi-million-dollar inventory reduction sale. Store-wide savings. Red tags are everywhere. Prices slashed to up to 60% off. It is going on right now. It's not going to last long. If you're looking for a diamond engagement ring, you got birthdays or anniversaries coming up, so you want to come see us. Bailey's Big Inventory Reduction Sales. Huge savings. Don't miss it.
How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for Life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back. We are joined by Chris Doherty. Chris, glad you're here. And Norman, you were kind of bragging, of course, Norman Chambliss, you were kind of talking about the future of the company. You and Jimmy have run it for 40 years.
Yeah.
But various things that are happening that are exciting, not only in Rocky Mount, but in Raleigh and in Wilmington, have necessitated kind of handing the mantle on to and training some of the young people,
Exactly.
right?
That's how it works. Yes, it's extremely important to both Jimmy and to me that the construction company and the business entity that we have developed to this point go on for an extended period of time. It was obvious that bringing in young people in any industry brings an energy, it brings a thought process, it brings excitement that you need. Chris Doherty, my young buddy right here, came to work with us when he was in college, I imagine, or high school in the summertime, and worked on a building out at Candlewood that David Ettinger's office is in. His first job he worked on. And he went and got his construction management degree at East Carolina, and I'll let him explain that. But came to work with us right out of college, quickly showed the type of aptitude and attention and energy that any construction company in the country would love to have. So consequently, over a period of time, Chris took on more and more responsibility with Chambliss and Rabil. He moved to Raleigh with his wife about 3 years ago, I think. We opened a division in Raleigh, which I'm going to let him talk about. And Chris is now a vice president of the company. He is now a division manager in Raleigh, and he's an owner. He's a stockholder in the company. So this is Chris's company as well as mine and Jimmy's and my son Yates. Chris, you've had a lot to do with our company's growth in the dental office construction market. The part of what you and Yates have accomplished in growing our book of business in dental construction is you're now running a division in Raleigh. Yates's division in Wilmington is busier than it has been, and a lot of that has to do with dental construction, which you are kind of the guru in the company of our dental construction. Remind me, what was the very first dental construction project that we assigned to you? Where was it, and who'd we build it for?
Gurley Ritter in Brogdon, located in Cary. It was a state-of-the-art.
It was just that's the one that was designed by a team out of Oregon, Portland, Oregon?
Yes,
okay.
it was.
Green Curve, yeah,
Green
exactly.
Curve.
Tell me about that. So,
state-of-the-art ortho office. Very challenging details to it. Curved ceilings and soffits. State-of-the-art equipment.
Genius. They're not like, dental offices aren't like the ones you and I went to.
No, very utilitarian, and if it hurt, it's your problem.
Exactly.
It's not.
Dental, it's all a wow factor now. And how many dental projects have you and the company got active right now, would you think? 8 to 10 probably?
Easily, yes.
Okay. Like the furthest one away we're getting ready to start?
We'll be in Mebane.
Okay.
Integrative Dentistry. It's a ground-up, 2-story, new construction dental office.
Do you like building dental offices?
Absolutely.
I knew you did.
It's
What makes it so special that that you would and the company wants to emphasize doing that? Why do we and you like it so much?
It's a niche of construction that takes just a high level of aptitude about the things that are involved with building the office, and a lot of it, I guess the industry is so well connected with one another. Each dentist knows every other dentist, so completing one office well, it builds such a great relationship with that particular dentist that it ends up leading to multiple other projects. Everybody knows everybody, and it's nice to have people talk wonderful about the project and their experience with you and your company, and then it leading to other projects.
And I want to say, I really like you're a Rocky Mount company.
Yes.
And so this bodes well for all of us that now you're expanding. This is still your home office.
No question.
But the reason that you put an office in Raleigh versus working out of the Rocky Mount office was what?
Was because of the growth of our dental office construction in the Triangle area. Help me, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill,
Mebane?
Apex,
yeah,
Holly
Apex, Holly
Springs.
Springs.
Cary?
Now, that doesn't mean to the exclusion of Rocky Mount. I think it would be accurate to say that out of 100% of the dental offices in Rocky Mount, we have built 50% of them over the years. The first non-residential project this company ever had was in 1976 for Dr. Tom Vaughn and Charlie Godwin. We built their dental office on Foy Drive, and we've built dental offices all over Rocky Mount ever since. And we love it. So that's not a new area to us. But if you want to do multiple dental offices, obviously you put your name out there with the dental equipment people, and the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill market is just larger. And but this young man is known and recognized industry-wide with the dental architects, with the dental consultants, and the equipment people as being as good as there is because he's so meticulous about details, which is what you've got to be. Gene, different than some construction companies like the real big boys, we don't do public work or what we call bid work. And that's a great niche for the big companies because it's the schools, it's the hospitals and all that. We really are, when a client comes to us and contacts us, they hire us right then. And we work with them with their projects all the way from start to finish. So our niche is 90% of our work. It's either a medical office building, it's a custom coastal home like on Figure 8 Island or Wrightsville Beach that takes 2 years to build, or in one case it's the Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue restaurants, which we are the exclusive contractor for Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue statewide, and that's what these boys Yates and Chris let me do. I run that Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue division of our work, and that's what I do every day. But it's been a wonderful relationship between us and the family that owns that company. They're based in Clayton with an office in Cary. And so we have a tight-knit group of clients, and we kind of build in the same type of work all the time. Yeah.
In case somebody doesn't know, Yates is your son.
Yes.
Who's in Wilmington, and I think that's really so important that you've got some family legacy
It
here.
is important.
Jimmy Rabil has a couple of sons,
He does.
one of whom is already working for you a little bit, right, part-time in the
That's
summer.
Christopher. He's a junior in high school, and he works whenever he can with us.
Well, in the new blood coming in, you might do this forever, you might not, but it's important to cultivate. And tell us what Yates is doing in Wilmington
Love
at
to.
Wrightsville Beach.
Yates, we opened the office in Wilmington in 2004, right when Yates finished college. So that means we're working on year number 12 there. Much of our business out of the Wilmington division is medical related, dental offices, medical offices. We keep a custom home going most all the time, maybe two. We have one going now. We're breaking ground on another one soon. And Yates is 37 years old and has worked hard and knows people in the architectural and design and construction industry there. And he's busy, and I'm proud of him, very much so. Just like I'm proud of Chris. Any company where the original owners are in their 60s and 70s, which is exactly where Jimmy and I are. If you want it to go forward, you've got to bring in young people, and you've got to let those young people bring their thoughts and their ideas and their desires into your company's model. And that's what Chris and Yates and all of them have done. I would say that the average age of our employees, and I may get this wrong, you can guess at it with me. If you take Jimmy, the two of us out of the equation, off the table, take everyone that works for this company, and I imagine that's 30 to 40 people, and divide it, the average age is about 35 to 40 years old. Certainly our management team is in their mid-30s.
Yes.
And that bodes well for us. And when clients call us to want to interview us, they say, what's your succession plan? Who's going to be around to run this company?
Right.
And there it is right here. And Yates and Rob and Bo Carnegie and all the other people that work with us. And You know, it's a kind of an exciting day. It is for the whole construction industry.
And I congratulate you, Norman, because you're listening to them too. I found in serving, and I know Jimmy worked on the downtown revitalization committee, but your generation thinks differently, wants
Absolutely.
different things,
Yes.
and that's good. And we need to applaud that and recognize that, and to be bringing them in now in the design process and to empower them.
Exactly.
Is really good, Norman.
And technology. You have to be out ahead of technology. We webcam our projects now. In certain cases, we might have 2 webcams on a construction project, one outside and one inside, so that not only can we monitor the construction at all times, but our clients can, and then the trades and the staff that are preparing to go work on that job site, and it gives a permanent file on how the project was done. Communication, computers, webcams, all of that, that's where you are. I call them the instant gratification generation. That's what they are. They don't want to wait 1 second for something to happen. And so we put that philosophy into our construction business, and we're a much better company than we were 10 or 20 years ago. We start on time, we finish on time, and we maintain a budget and a schedule. And that a lot of that is thanks to people like Chris and like my son Yates.
Keep them straight,
Yeah.
Chris. Okay, we got about 1 minute.
Okay.
Your legacy, Norman. What do you want people to remember about Chambliss and Rabil?
Well, Chambliss and Rabil is a result of not only Jimmy and me, but our dads, Albert Rabil and my dad Norman, who my dad's still living, he's 91 years old. But we just want to be remembered as a company that was loyal to our community and that took pride in what we did and built buildings and facilities that stood the test of time, and that we were always willing to take a step a little bit out of the box in order to try to go to the next level. You know, this has just been a great career for all of us, but it's been more based on not what we've accomplished, but the process of accomplishing it has been so enjoyable. I appreciate it very much. I love my community, and the community's been mighty good to me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You've been great to us.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Chris, glad you were here. And thank you. See you next week.
How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.